Welcome back to Blue Collar Speed and Repair. Last video of this thing, we got some exhaust on it. Heard it run for the first time ever, which was pretty awesome. A few videos ago, we got some brake lines ran. I think this go around, we're going to try to get a master cylinder installed, some pedals installed, and get this thing one step closer to being on the road. Alright, so this is all the pedal assembly and brake and everything out of our 74 square body. Same pickup that the front suspension, engine, transmission, rear end, all that stuff came out of. I'm going to keep trying to use as much of it as I can. So, brake pedal, clutch assembly. The big problem we're going to run into is this is the bracketry that goes under the dash that the pedal swings from. It's obviously not going to bolt in. We're going to have to modify it. Course booster, master cylinder, all that stuff. Big issue is I did some measuring, and from where the bracket, the original bracket in there that holds the dash and column and everything, is only about 9 3/4 of an inch firewall to dash. Obviously, all of this is going to have to come off, and I think we're just going to end up slicing this off and making our own brackets, making our own mounting points. I don't know of another good way to do it. That's going to be the biggest project, I think. So, coming over here.
Am I following you all the way around?
Yes, please. Well, I'm going to stop right there. Over here. I think we're going to start this project with getting all this junk off the firewall. This stuff can go away. Obviously, you don't need a ballast resistor. I don't even know what all these cables are for. I believe one was choke, one was throttle, that kind of stuff. So obviously, we're not using any of that. And then if you peek your head in there,
oh,
it's disgusting and gross. So, old column bracket's going to come out. Park brake handle's coming out because we're not going to use it. We're not going to worry about park brake right now. And then basically that bracket is going to take place of this bracket. So we got to get this thing out of here. And I think while we're at it, we might as well take this rubber floor mat out, get all this trash and junk out of here, so I don't have to lay in it.
well, and we're eventually going to replace the floor, so that
Right.
that's a step we don't have to deal with.
Right, there is some
next
rust
time.
in the floor. There are some repairs that need to be made later down the road. Probably going to leave the seat just so we have an idea of where pedals are going to end up. So we have a seating position rather than using a milk crate or something, which we could do. But and as well as bleeding the brakes, hopefully, if all this goes well. So let's gather some tools, start ripping stuff apart, get all this stuff out of here. Maybe give it a quick vacuum would help.
I mean, you're going to lay in it.
So maybe give it a quick vacuum would help. And then we'll try to figure out this bracket.
All right, I'm following your
Plan of
lead.
sorts?
Sure.
All right, let's do it.
Where do you want to start?
Yes.
That? Okay.
A pair of dikes, please. Budge. Now what? might have to cut these cables off from inside and pull them out.
Well, it just so happens you're going to be under the dash, so.
True. Wonder if I can get the rubber grommets out, or that might have to wait until afterwards as well. They are hard as a rock. All right. Not entirely sure how this all comes out. Yeah. Ooh. This appears to bolt to the dash at the bottom, but it might be spot welded around the rest of it. Well, I guess we'll just see what happens. Of course, there's a nut on the back.
The pliers are right there on the fender, so I think.
That's not gonna work.
Oh, okay.
This doesn't seem to be working very well. Aha. How in the world am I supposed to get my hand in there? There are 2 bolts on the bottom of this bracket. I don't know if you can see that.
Yep.
Those are the only bolts I see. I'm pretty sure the rest of it's spot welded in. So let me take those bolts out. Nothing's going to happen. I don't think. And then we'll clean all this stuff up. And I have a feeling I'm cutting all that out anyway.
Super.
Yeah.
Okay. You got a socket?
Yeah. Should be one right here. That doesn't fit.
I feel like gets held in with like the gauge cluster because the speedo moves every time you do anything with it.
Yeah, but like that doesn't move from the firewall, and there's no other bolts over there at all.
Okay. Are you gonna cut it in half?
We could take the cluster out. It's only a couple screws.
No.
See if we see anything else.
This is the first time I've actually sat in here.
Now what?
I don't know. Do you have to remove the speedo cable first?
Oh, it's cut off out there.
Oh.
Ooh, it's hooked somehow. Aha.
You just had to yank harder?
Yes.
Hey.
Now we're not going to be using any of this wiring, of course, and probably not the cluster either. So I think I'm just going to start cutting on these wires because I don't need them.
We're gonna rewire this thing anyways, right?
Oh yeah.
Hey.
Alright.
These clusters are so cool. What do you see?
Nothing. The bolts I could easily get to from up here now.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is all
Ow.
like spot welded in.
Just got stabbed in the face by a speedo cable.
So, all right, let's clean the rest of this up and then go from there.
Okay.
All right, skip ahead a little bit. Got all the rubber mat out. You can see how bad these floors really are. I'm not sure how what we're gonna do about this yet, but that's not today's problem. That is future problems. So, as I thought, this bracket is all spot welded in. Put this in the way. That's gonna be right in the way, probably. That'll work. Let me see that. So I know you can't see it from this side very well, but from the bottom I can feel spot weld right there, and I can feel the spot weld on this side. So I think I'm gonna have to drill from the bottom, drill those spot welds out. As far as the inside goes, I think I'm just gonna, after she's done making noise, go ahead.
I'm done.
I think I'm just gonna slice off here and slice off here, straight down. And I'm hoping when we get this all centered up that we end up with the brake rod going right through this hole. This side, I believe, so you notice how these brackets go out that way and out that way. These both go to the right on the other bracket. So I think this one we're going to end up having to cut all the way back to the firewall, but we'll get to that a little later. For now, drill a couple spot welds out, slice those two spots off. I think we're gonna have to go shorten up that other bracket and see where everything lines up. I think we're just gonna basically center it off of the cluster. Let me get a drill bit. Hold that, please.
Don't make so much noise.
Unfortunately, this is going to add some holes to the bottom of the dash, which I don't like doing, but we don't really have a choice. So, this is the way it is. We're not like go.
Nobody's gonna know but us and like 3 other people.
Well, I just don't like adding extra holes if we don't have to.
I know.
But in this case, we have to. All right. I think one's right there. The other ones, maybe there's two there. Let's see. Let's start with this one. I should probably go ahead and slice these other parts real quick. Quite get where I want it. Maybe.
You hold the white for you?
No, I got it.
Okay.
You're too late. Alright, so that's one. Where is the other one, though? I'm sure. That's one, that's... I feel like there's several.
Yeah?
Yeah, there is several. I wish I could drill them from this side, but I can't.
That little angle drill thing work for that?
Maybe, but I can't really see them from this side because it's kind of rusted and crowded.
No.
The other option is put a chisel between and see if I can break the spot welds, but I just don't want to damage the bottom side, you know.
Yeah.
You can try it though and just kind of see how it goes. Let's try it.
I'm here for moral support, you know. Just in case.
Yeah.
Want a flashlight?
Well, I can kind of see something. At this point, the flashlight might just be in the way. It's conveniently right in the way. Okay, let's try from the other side. I'm not left-handed. Might even kind of be working. I got that stuck in there at a funky angle. I'll go get it.
Your little panel popped out when you were chiseling.
Really wish I'd go from the other side. I realize that. Got it. So the one I drilled out, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a diagonal line. Okay. Not too worried about that. Where'd the wires go? Excuse me. Okay. Now, let's go cut that other bracket. Mock it in here.
Do we need to worry about getting the rest out or no?
Let's go cut the other bracket and then mock it in here.
Okay.
Feel like I said that.
Bossy pants.
Can't believe you broke that.
The two nuts that are supposed to be on those little studs are gone.
We'll figure that out
They
later.
probably rusted off.
I'm sure they did. All right.
Okay, go work. Yeah.
9 3/4 from the firewall, well, from the firewall bracket to the edge of. All right. Essentially, we have 9 3/4 to the dash from this point, which puts it just ahead of our pivot point, which makes me a little nervous, meaning that the brake pedal will hang down all the way close to the dash. I don't know if that'll be too much of a lift to get to the brake pedal, if that makes sense. Worst case scenario, I can always modify the pedal. This is a square body automatic pedal, obviously, that I didn't like how high it was, so I just cut it and moved it back. If we got to do something like that to these pedals, we can. So I went ahead and measured between our two bolt holes that would have mounted to the square body dash. It's 5 inches, so measured 2.5, marked our center line. Since we're going to be cutting it back here, we'll use this line to line up with our instrument cluster. So now I got to figure out how the heck to draw a straight line across this thing. I think what I'm going to do is 9.5 inches instead of 9 3/4 to give us a little bit of room, and then we'll have to come off of this and make some kind of a bracket to the dash. Something like that. Very close to that pivot point. Again, that makes me very nervous, but worst case, excuse me, worst case scenario, they do make brackets that bolt into these. There are several aftermarket companies that make them. So if we fail miserably at this, then there are options. Yeah. 9.5 there, and there-ish. Now, connect the dots. Through the dirt, because I didn't clean anything. I'll have to figure something else out for our brake switch as well, but we'll deal with that later. All right, that's our cut line. Let's do it.
Want some of those?
Yeah, I was just looking for them. this out of our way.
Some assistance. Ow.
You're fine.
I need the ear though.
You're fine. All right. Grab the grinder wheel. Clean this up a little bit. I wonder if we should cut these studs off as well. Let's try it without first. Just wondering if it would be easier to line this up to the bottom of the dash. And then we can just push it against the firewall and drill holes. But let's try this way first. If it becomes an issue, then we'll do something different.
Grinder wheel still in the truck, I believe.
Huh?
Grinder wheel still in the truck, I believe.
Yeah. I'm also wondering if I'm going to take this ear off and probably angle. Well, I might just take this whole ear off.
Wait for me.
We definitely have to take the bracket out on the right side, but and then we are going to line up with that hole in the dash. I don't know if it'll be the right height, but we are going to line up with that at least side to side, I think. Maybe not. It's gonna go like that. Yeah, we're not going to line up with it. All right. So, let's get the grinder back out. Start cleaning all that up. And then mark holes. This will almost go around that though. How'd I do that? This. Yeah, not quite. We could potentially bend it over. I wonder. I don't think there's enough there though. All right, let me cut that out. And then we'll go from there. All right, got the bracket out from under the dash. Wasn't too big of a deal. Rather than trying to play the guessing game on where these holes end up, I think we are going to end up taking these studs out. We were looking at potentially cutting the welds, taking them out, drilling our holes, getting it all back together, and putting these back in and tacking them into place. But it'd be a pain to try to get into this inside one, which is going to be a pain anyway. And like this one's tack welded on the inside, it's not going to work. So I'm just going to try to cut the heads off, hopefully not damage this material, and then we'll just nut and bolt it later. We always just tack a regular bolt in here too. All right, got all the studs knocked out of this thing. Tweak this one a little bit, that's all right. Already kind of mocked this thing in here. And the other brackets that came down, they had a bolt in the bottom of each one. This one actually lines up to where one of those bolts already was. So,
Sorry. I don't want to hear it.
So I think If I can get this to line up, where are you? So I think I can have you go outside.
Okay.
Take this with you. Have her put the nut on the outside. Okay, too much noise. Have her put the nut on the outside. And we'll tighten that one down, and then we should be able to either just drill the holes or mark them easily. Might need a wrench. I don't have one. Oh, that's the wrong size. 9/16 wrench, maybe? Okay, ready? Apparently I'm not. Get on there. So from there, should be able to just drill the other holes if the drill fits. Alright, got this all bolted into place. Obviously we still got to do something to attach to the dash to give this thing some support. We could actually go up to the inside of the dash cowl piece as well if we wanted to. Help strengthen everything. My big question is a booster going to fit over this valve cover? So let me go grab that. Let's find out. I need the other drill. Okay. Is this going to...
Oh, sorry.
Well, we'll clear the valve cover.
Barely.
Yeah, well, it'll lean back a little bit. It's gonna hit here.
I see.
So, I guess we're going 4 bolts. Or, realistically, I'll probably cut off at this little jog. And then go back in later and add a third hole just below that. So, let me cut this off because everything's got to be changed and modified.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's better than going half into the cowl.
Yeah. All right, I'll be right back. It fits, just didn't want to fit on the bolt holes.
Yeah, that top one's a little bit wonky from the little piece of metal sticking out.
Okay. They'll line up to those ones.
Yep.
Well, essentially that'll end up being where it'll be.
Yeah, the bottom was all the way through and the top one's got a couple threads there.
Okay. All right, it'll fit.
Yep. Can you check the oil still?
Yep.
Nice. You're not changing a valve cover gasket if you have to.
No, that is going to be an issue. But
hopefully we don't have
small
to.
block Chevy valve covers never leak, ever. All right. So that's in place. We got to build some brackets in there. This is going to work out. I got to clean this up. It's unfortunate that we didn't end up in this hole and that this bolt hole ended up kind of funky because of it. Also, it's got this funky ridge right here. It is what it is. When we actually do like rust repairs and all that stuff, this cab's probably coming off again, which we talked about I think before, and we might fill some of these holes and all that stuff.
Or we seal it
Clean
up.
it up a little bit, because realistically, I like the patina everywhere else. Inside the engine compartment, I'd like to be clean-ish. So we'll probably paint or Raptor line or undercoat or something, at least the firewall, inner fenders, and the core support piece.
And we're gonna have fancy wrapped wiring and
Well, I like my wiring to be clean. So, I think that is probably tomorrow's project because it is late. Like usual, we got a late start because we always get a late start. Although today was a little bit different. Somebody decided to leave their mirror, their passenger side mirror of their car up against our mailbox and knock our mailbox off and our neighbor's mailbox off and pile of mirror. So we had to run to town, get a mailbox and fix all that stuff and do woodwork and all kinds of wild stuff. So we will see you guys tomorrow and we will continue.
yeah, hopefully we get this done.
It better get done tomorrow.
We need brakes.
Good morning. Went ahead and took the bracket back out. We had all mock into place. Been trying to figure out how to attach to the dash. Essentially, we need to come out about 2 inches. I think I'm going to use this guy. Chunk of scrap I had laying around. So we'll cut this top section off. Try to shape this to at least similar. And that'll box the bottom part, and then if we want to, we can use the piece we cut off to kind of box the top if we want. So, cut off wheel, cut that off, get that into place, then we'll have to bend. It'll need to come up. Angle will have to come up slightly, but it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Yeah, the 4 bolts would probably hold it, but the firewall's not really braced for a booster brake master cylinder. So attaching to the dash, and I think we're going to go up and do a brace to the cowl as well, which we'll get to that. Just trying to give it as much support as possible. So let me cut this off with, I guess, the cutoff wheel because I don't got anything else handy, and I don't know where any of my glasses or anything is.
Right there.
Grinder wheel still in the truck?
Believe so.
Now, do we worry about shape? I think I'm just going to take the corners off. I'm not too concerned with look, because once cluster and stuff's back in, you'll never actually see it. Swap back to the cutoff wheel. Something like that. And again, we can use this piece to box this in if we want. Yep. It's gonna be one of those days. All right. I'm gonna clean all this up a little bit so we can actually weld it. Start welding stuff on.
Okay.
bracket made, boxed this section in. I didn't worry too much about cleaning it up. We're probably going to paint this anyway. And it's going to be all behind the dash, so not too concerned. In theory, it's crooked. Imagine that. A couple holes, bolts in here just to place. That's good clamp. That doesn't really reach, but it kind of reaches. Line that up centered. And there you go. It's a little crooked. I think, who knows? I mean, it's not quite bolted to the firewall all the way either. It shouldn't matter that much, I don't think. So, from here we drill a couple holes. Probably use the one that I already drilled, equal to on the other side, and bolt it in officially, and then we can get the booster on and everything. Yeah.
Okay, get to work. As if you haven't already been working.
It's really not going to take much. I think this is, what size? 23/64. So we probably just use 5/16 bolts. Should be plenty. This is the bracket for the column. I was hoping to kind of line the bolts up and make those match, but we're going to miss it on this side. Once I come all the way to this edge, and then we're off center from the cluster, and I don't want that. But if I line this one up centered, this bolt hole ends up off of the angle iron that we did. And then I can't have a bolt sticking down in the middle, obviously. So, I guess this will get bolted on, and we'll have to favor more toward the outside when we do that. Okay, so I made this angle iron a little bit longer and didn't drill this spot weld out. But live and learn. Ow. I'll drop a couple bolts.
Panel's falling out again.
That's fine. And then what do I do with that? Aluminum bracket.
It's underneath the drill.
So then we'll have to favor just outside of that, I guess.
All it's gotta do is hold a column, right?
Yep. Well, that's in a later video. We're not going to get to that this time. All right. So now what do we do about attaching to the cowl? Did we lose the light again?
Apparently.
Bring over here.
It's down there with the marker somewhere.
I know it's dark. I don't know where my flashlight is, but essentially I want to attach the brake pedal bracket up to our cowl here. Now this is all hidden. That helps a little bit. This is all hidden behind the cowl piece on the outside, so I should be able to just drill a couple holes and do a rib nut. I just need to find a piece of material that will either bolt onto the front of here or weld across or whatever we do. Let me see what material I got and take a measurement. Be back in a minute. All right, I think something like that should work. This is some leftover material from when we did our airbag, or our step notch rather. So I think which way did this go? I think it's that way. Well, I need to add a little more bend into that side, I think, but essentially I'm just gonna weld this side, probably just do one bolt, and then that will tie this bracket to the firewall, the dash, and the cowl. So let me tack that in place. Well, add a little more bend. Tack this into place, get everything back out, weld it up, clean everything up, go ahead and put some paint on this, and then we should be able to install this for the last time. And then we can do booster, lines, hang pedals. We still got to figure out the clutch pedal, all that stuff. So, back with you in a minute. All right, a little while later, got this all welded in, painted, all that good stuff. My brain's not working like usual, but I think we're ready to install it, finally. Hopefully the last time. No, we're not. I have to put a rib nut in the cowl for this, I just remembered. All right, let me do that real quick. Get this thing bolted into place. We can get the booster on for the last time. Well, last time for this project part anyway. And finish up brake lines and stuff.
Okay, got your present.
Yeah, we're gonna need that. All right, got our rib nut in. Bolt gonna line up hopefully. Probably have you put the bolts in from this side, get them started, and I'll wrestle the booster. Okay. Next. Okay, which way does it need to go?
Okay. Okay. Go. She's bolted.
Alright, that's all installed. We are tied into the firewall, of course, up here in the cowl, and then the dash itself. So this should be nice and solid and not go anywhere. So I think we can hang the pedals. We got to do a little more fab work for the clutch pedal, and we should be good to put brake lines on and hopefully bleed.
My favorite.
Yeah, bleeding brakes is always fun. Again, where these pedals end up, I'm not sure what's going to happen. We may have to modify that later once we get seats and stuff in, but for now, in and working would be a big win.
Yes.
Yes. All right, let's grab the pedals, the big through bolt, all that good stuff. Be right back. All right. I can't see anything. There, that goes on that. Well, that's not too bad. Probably have to tweak it over. Doesn't give a lot of room for throttle pedal. If you look down there. Yeah. So, height might be okay. Might need to move it back a bit, but again, in and working is the goal. If we got to adjust from there, then we will. We still got to figure out what we're going to do about brake light switch and all that. You see that? So if you shine in here, normally on an automatic would just have a short through bolt, and it would have the nut right there. This is a kit from American Powertrain. That we got for our other C10 when we built it. So it puts this longer bolt in. There's a little spacer. This guy goes on and then gets bolted into place. Now normally there's another bracket that I forgot to bring that would come off of this and bolt onto where the column bracket bolted originally, which we don't have that, of course. And we're hitting. I think we need to come this way a bit, which means we need to modify the dash a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. We're hitting the dash, and we're not even as high as the brake pedal. And if I remember correctly, yeah, the words, come on, work. The rod for the push rod for the master cylinder is all the way as short as it'll go. So realistically, we need to modify this a hair and bring it this way. Not a lot, but if we can get this to come out even in its resting spot, that would be ideal. And then we got to figure out how the heck to hold that in place. All right, well, I guess we're cutting dash. All right, notch the dash just a little bit. So now the clutch pedal is sticking out just a hair farther than the brake pedal, which is fine. Brake pedal seems pretty good. It actually stops right pretty much at the floor. So it might be a good position for it, other than it probably needs to swing over maybe an inch so we have a little more room for a throttle pedal. Because you gotta remember, there's gonna be a tunnel here too. So I'm not sure how that's going to work exactly. It may have to come over quite a bit. I don't know yet. But again, we'll deal with that a little later. If we gotta kick both these over a little bit, then that's what we'll do. For now, I just want to make it work. As far as this clutch pedal goes, it came with this bracket. I don't know if you can see this bracket that's on the front of it here. This should have bolted onto there, and this would have bolted onto the original mount that we cut off. So I did a measurement from the front of the pedal. I have about an inch worth of dash. So I'm going to try to cut this off at an inch and see if we can make this work still. And hopefully have it line up with our chintzy little column mount. So let me go cut this real quick, get a bolt for it, and see if we got to do some bending or what. I'm not sure yet, but we'll see. All right, shorten up our bracket a little bit. It's sitting on top of the bottom of the dash lip there. I opted to not put a bolt in it. The whole point of that is just to keep the mechanism from rotating, and since it's right next to where our brace is bolted in, I don't think it's going to be an issue. And again, this body is probably coming off again anyway. So our clutch line comes out of the bell housing, just ran it up through a hole in the firewall. It's hooked up, and then the hose for the reservoir. I just have the reservoir sitting up there for now so we can bleed that and get the clutch working anyway. From here, I think we are brake lines away. Ready to go from the proportioning valve to the master cylinder, and we should have a working brake system. Minus all the leaks and stuff, of course. So, I have what came off the square body. Of course, I'm going to try to make those work if I can. If I can't, then I've got some brake line we can run if we have to. Alright, that is the brake line for the rear, as in the rear brakes from master cylinder proportion valve. This is the front. We do have a line lock that I had on the C10. Might as well put it on here because I like to party. Essentially, this should be the same. The proportioning valve is right under the radiator, which is where the factory location is on the square body. But we did narrow a little bit, and I'm sure the relationship this direction is different. I think the easiest thing probably to do is get this kind of fished in here, and then probably put this up in the air, attach everything there, and then we'll try to fish them up to here. This one has to go up to here. We'll have to probably do some tweaking and bending and whatnot, and ideally I'd like to mount the line lock to the inner fender so it's not flopping around. You can already see there, we're going to do some bending that way. This needs to do one of those a little bit, because why not? Also don't remember which side these go to. Also needs to go that way. This is the closer one. Yeah. Kind of in that general vicinity. I don't think I can get it started from here with the power steering line in the way.
I don't think I can reach from the front.
No. I'm just trying to get it kind of in an area, and hopefully we can go underneath and get them started. Come on. Okay. Don't have light. This. All right, can you look down here? Obviously, we still need to do some tweaking. That's essentially where that brake line's going to go, and then the other one goes to the right of it. So if we can get these, again, kind of close-ish to where they belong.
You going fishing?
Yeah. Other than that, I think this is going to work out okay. We can get them started and tightened down there. We can kind of tweak them from there. Not too concerned with that. Needs to be more that way. More that way. Kind of right in there. All right, let's try that.
All right, we gotta roll it back.
Yeah, we'll roll it back, put it back on the lift. See if we can get this thing, or these in place.
So we'll be back in a few.
Back in a few. All right, got the lines at the proportioning valve all tightened up. Wasn't much to see there other than me cramping my fingers and struggling, but I got it. Just a matter of hooking these lines to the master cylinder, which I think we can just kind of attach over to the inner fender here. We do got to stay low enough that we don't interfere with our hood hinge that bolts here, spring goes here, so as long as we stay under that, we should be good. This guy should go to the rear. So essentially we can probably take that bend out a little bit. Maybe tighten this one up, I'm not real sure. Kind of in that general vicinity. Probably get these started and then decide from there maybe. So we just kind of attach like that, we should be fine. Stay off of our steering line, stay off our radiator, something like that. Now these coils are in there for body to frame flex. Realistically, it should be down here if we're going to attach to the body here, but whatever. I'm not too concerned with it at the moment. So now this guy, how do we do this? This guy has to come. They're going to end up crisscrossing unless we shorten this one. I don't really want to do. I'm trying to make it a little cleaner, but I'm not sure how to do that. Get some of these coils out, maybe. Definitely not the prettiest thing ever, is it?
No, it might be better going over instead of under.
Think so? Maybe curve this one down up here.
Yeah.
It'll come out now. Use a proper wrench. What's happening?
What's happening? It's in place, apparently.
This kind of already has that curve in it, though.
Yeah. If you go over, they might bang together a little bit, I feel like. Now that I see it.
It's happier this way.
Okay, are we putting rib nuts in the inner fender, or are you just...
Not right now. I'm not overly concerned about attaching this at the moment. Just know that we're going to.
No.
If we attach that, there's a hole already right here. We can attach this with a P-clamp. Kind of give us... Again, this body's all coming off probably again anyway, so we can finalize all this stuff a little better later. For now, I just want the brakes to work because we can. Let me grab a couple wrenches.
Just carrying on a conversation with yourself?
Having a staff meeting.
Party of one?
Yep.
You should probably talk to yourself about that.
this isn't all final, just can we make it brake pedal do something? The goal is, I have other stuff I'd like to be working on as well, but it's such a pain to move this thing in and out of the shop since it don't steer and do anything currently.
It runs.
All right. All right. You ready to operate the pedal?
Sure. Hey, I still made it. Right. Everything's gonna move.
All right, gonna bench bleed the master cylinder. This did have fluid in it before, but obviously it's been sitting around.
Get off the fender so we can get in.
We need to fix that. Today.
I'm working on it. There's a lot of springs.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to crack the lines that I just tightened. Use this tray to hopefully catch most of this mess. And I'm going to have her push the pedal down slowly. I know how you are. Slowly, please.
This current configuration is not comfortable. Holding.
Tighten these back up. Now you can lift the pedal. Down again.
Holding.
Up.
Up.
Down.
Down.
Ooh, should be good with wood. I would think. Or it's all leaking out on the ground somewhere. Up. I did not tighten these that I loosened.
Hold.
I think we have a leak in the rear somewhere. Up. Up. Down slow.
Down.
Up.
Up.
Down slow.
Why do you think we have a leak?
Because it's pulling fluid down the back, but it's not pumping it out here.
Yeah, but those lines are completely empty like that.
Yeah. But I don't really see bubbles coming out either. Go ahead, pump it again. Slow. If that were the case, fluid would be going in and air would be coming out.
Holding.
But I don't see fluid anywhere. Oh, yeah, I do. You let it up. All right, fixed about 14 brake fluid leaks. Actually, there's only a couple, but the rear brake line splits in the middle. That was a little bit loose. That was our biggest leak. Small leak up at the proportion valve, and small leak over there at that brake line going to the right front wheel. So let's try this again. Up, down slow, Okay, got fluid out of there. Up. Down slope. Lots of fluid out of there. Okay. Down. Okay, up. Down slope. Alright. So with all this messing around, I'm confident that I just made a mess after trying not to make a mess. Yeah. Okay. I'm confident that the master cylinder is bled. So now we're going to go do all 4 corners. You know the drill. Have her pump it 4 or 5 times, crack the bleeder. Do that until all the air stops coming out. Then we'll do the same thing with the clutch, and we'll have a couple working pedals. We have a working brake pedal. You want to hit it? It goes down a little ways. I'm sure that it's got a little bit of air in it still. But again, we're just trying to get them kind of working so we can move this thing around a bit. So now, as far as clutch goes, I already put fluid in this. I'm going to have her pump the pedal slow. See if we can kind of kickstart our process here. Go ahead. Being dirty, needs to be cleaned out. There's air bubbles every time you let it up. All right, that's all the air bubbles. All right, hold for a sec.
Sorry. My foot slipped off.
Okay. Will help. I can't let go of this. Okay. I overfilled that apparently. All right, get this thing back up in the air again, bleed the clutch. I think we're done with this project. All right, so this uses a hydraulic throwout bearing. It acts as a slave cylinder. So you have one line in, which comes from the master cylinder, the pedal. Break this loose. I'm wondering if we can just get it to kind of gravity bleed. Oh yeah. All right, you want to pump it? Shouldn't take much. There's not too much to this system.
Some still come out. Oh, it comes out when you let off too. There's a lot.
I did overfill it by accident. Still spraying?
No.
Okay. I overfilled it, I'm sure. You gonna hold or what? Pump. Uh-oh. That was loud. All right, that was all fluid. So, let's see if I can see this operate. Go ahead. All right, a couple more pumps was all it took. Got a little more air out of it, but it is working. Go ahead and pump it. All right. Okay. We have working brakes and a working clutch. Should I let her out or leave her in? I let her out. She threatened me. All right. Brake pedal works. Clutch pedal works. Got the little reservoir just kind of jammed in up there because I had it over full and the cap has a little vent on it. You can see it splattered all over the windshield everywhere. After trying kind of hard to not make a mess, made a huge mess. Imagine that. But luckily, brake fluid is water soluble. It rinses with water. So we're gonna shove this thing outside, rinse everything off with the hose, let it sit and dry. No big deal. I don't want to ruin what little paint we do have. So I think that's it for this one. We got 2 out of 3 working pedals. I did order a cheapy generic throttle pedal and cable, as well as some steering parts. So that's probably gonna be next video. I don't know when I'm gonna get started on that. But other than that, we're making progress, lots of progress. It's close to at least being able to move under its own power. It's not ready to go bombing down the highway just yet, but we're getting close. I did also went ahead and ordered 8-inch airbags for all the way around so that we can set this at a proper ride height. It's still low in the back, so we can measure for a drive shaft. And then we got to figure out that whole mess for cross members and whatnot. So you see all the brake fluid mess down there. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, share with family, all that good stuff. I appreciate it very much. Comments are always welcome. You guys are always awesome. Hey.
Thanks for hanging out.
She almost missed it. Thank you guys for hanging out. Appreciate it very much. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. We will see you guys next time.